Alright, so this next set of literal equations, it has kind of some of the last ones that you looked at, but it also has a couple of harder ones. So we're going to go try this example first. So this one is P equals D over M, and we're solving for M. Alright, so what makes this problem difficult is the fact that the M is on the bottom. So what we want to do in order to get our M basically by itself, we're going to have to first get it out of the denominator. So in order to get that M out of the bottom of the fraction, what we're going to have to do is get rid of that division by M. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to multiply by M to both sides. So what that's going to do is that left side is now just M times P, or MP. And what happens on the right side is that division by M and that times M are going to cancel each other out, so it's just equal to D. Now, that didn't help me get M any more so by itself, but I no longer have a fraction in there. So now, just looking at my equation, all I really have to do is get rid of that P value. So, in order to get M by itself, I have to get rid of this times P. So, what I end up doing is just dividing by P to both sides, which means those P's are going to cancel out. So M, which is what we wanted to solve for, is really D divided by P. So that's an example of one where the variable you're trying to solve for is in the denominator. Alright, so next problem. So if you need anything from this page, go ahead and pause the video. Alright, so now we're going to look at, oh, I forgot to put what we're solving for. This one we're actually going to solve for M. So, in order to get M by itself, I'm going to have to get rid of both this 2 and that X. So, you can actually get rid of, because we're getting rid of the times 2 and we're getting rid of the times X, we can actually get rid of both of those at the same time. So what we can do is we can divide by 2X to both sides. Well, the nice thing that happens is those 2's are going to cancel, those X's are going to cancel. So all I'm left with on this left side is P over 2X equals my M squared. So if you're trying to get rid of 2 multiplications or 2 divisions or something like that, you can actually get rid of them both at the same time. So now, here comes the tricky part. So in order to solve for M, I have to get rid of that square. And I know in middle school you looked at square roots and stuff a little bit, but I don't think you did to this magnitude. But in order to get rid of a square, you have to take the square root to both sides. So what happens is a square and a square root actually cancel each other out, so those 2 are gone. So all I'm left with is M equals, and really it's just this whole side over here. So square root of P over 2X. Okay, so this one, in order to solve for a variable that's underneath a exponent, basically you have to get that term by itself and then take the square root to both sides. So we're going to look at one more example that's similar to that. So if you need anything from this page, pause your video. Alright, so this one's going to be a very, very basic one. This one already has our variable by itself. So just like that last problem we just looked at, in order to get M, oops, I forgot to say, for M, in order to, that's a goofy looking M, I'm sorry. Let me fix that. So in order to get M by itself, I'm going to have to get rid of that square. Well, just like we did a minute ago, we're going to have to square root both sides. What happens is a square and a square root cancel each other out, and all we're left with is this part over here, which is the square root of C. And that would be our final answer.